Hi guys, good day. So the price of the Corolla has gone crazy. Like for a direct Belgium Corolla, you're talking 7, 8, 9 million. It just keeps getting worse. And by the way, it's not because there's been like a new added feature or anything. It's just increase in demand. That's it. Okay? I mean, apart from the import tax and other features. But there are other alternatives, okay? While the Corolla is a very solid vehicle now, Toyota has like this worldwide brand of reliability and durability. There are other products you could look at, and the prices of these other products have not gone crazy yet. So that's what I'm here to talk about. Now, I have a list here, so I'm going to run through it. First, I would go with the Honda. Now the Honda has different models. You have the Accord, you have City, you have Jazz, that's less popular. You have the Civic. I think the Civic and the Accord are the most popular brands. The other ones are SUVs. Now, you don't generally use SUVs for the business, but I don't think it's actually prohibited, but just generally because SUVs, they consume more fuel. Okay, so let's talk about the Honda. A fairly used Honda would go for somewhere around 2 million to 3 million, 2 point something most of the time. I'm talking about the EOD, the one they call the EOD. That's um, EOD specifically go for around 2 point something to 3 million, depending on how neat, how well used, how the interior still glitters and all that. So now, why the Honda is a very, very good option. In fact, I will consider it one of the best option or the best alternative to your Corolla, is that the durability and the reliability of a Honda is just as high or just as up there as your regular Toyota vehicles. And the parts are very easily available, very easy to come by, also affordable. Now the Honda has a general problem. When you talk about the Honda, you think about number one is the ball joint problem, right? For the Accord vehicles, or for the Accord models, and for the general Honda, there is the gearbox problem. Although this gearbox problem is not too widespread as okay, I don't know what to liken it to, but it's not that bad, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, you don't find too many vehicles with gear problems and all of them are Hondas. No, not really. But the general, if there is going to be a problem with a Honda, most likely a gearbox thing. A major problem, by the way, I'm not talking about minor things. Most likely a gearbox problem. But again, it's still very, very much up there when it comes to the alternative to your regular Bolt and Uber and all that. Okay, so that's the thing about the Honda. The next is the Peugeot or the Peugeot, or however anybody wants to pronounce it. So the Peugeot, I think, is also very, very solid. Now I'm talking about the 406, the 206, the 207, the 307. Anything from 407, no. 407 is a V6 vehicle, by the way, so I don't even think you should be using that. So most of the Peugeot vehicle, I think one of the drawbacks with it is that it's mostly preferred with a manual transmission. Apparently, when it comes with the automatic transmission, it's not so reliable and solid. That's a general opinion, but I don't know how mechanically true or correct that is. Because I'm pretty sure that there are people who are driving Peugeots with automatic transmission and they're doing okay. But generally, I've asked some car dealers and they say, see, when you want to buy a Peugeot and it has a manual transmission, chances are you're going to enjoy the car for a long, long time. However, that poses a challenge for people like me and the rest of us in the same WhatsApp group of people that don't know how to drive manual vehicles. We can't drive a Peugeot, obviously, right? So a Peugeot would go for somewhere around You have some for even 1.8, you have some for 2, you have some for 2 point something, but that's the range around which you will find the Peugeot. That's for a Nigerian used, by the way. I'm not talking about a foreign use. A Nigerian used Peugeot would go around these prices, so it's pretty much doable if you think about it, yeah? Okay, then the next is the Hyundai. Now, before I talk about the Hyundai, let me talk about the Suzuki. The Suzuki Alto, especially the one used by this company called Move in Lagos, where they give or they rent out these vehicles to drivers to use for high, not, I don't think it's high purchase, for rent, and they deliver, I think it's 9,000 every day, back to the Move company. So the Suzuki Alto, I think is also a manual drive, a manual transmission, right? So, well, what are the downsides? I can't quite find any downside, but all the upsides are it has a very great fuel economy. It has, oh yeah, the downside is that it's a manual transmission. It's a manual transmission. So if you're not good with the manual things, then I guess it may not work for you. But mind you, although these things can always be changed into an automatic transmission, but I wouldn't really trust it, especially if it comes built as a manual transmission. So talking about the Hyundai vehicle is a South Korean vehicle. Not that that is important, but specifically about the Hyundai Accent or the Hyundai Elantra. I think this is 2006 model, if I'm not mistaken. 2006 or 2008 model, okay? So this vehicle is also pretty solid. Personally, I've had my own experience with it. It's also pretty solid. However, I cannot attest to how easily available the parts are and how, well, in terms of costly or cost of those parts. I don't think they are on the crazy high side, but well, according to some people, this is just an empirical survey that I took. I just found that some people say they've had a good experience with the vehicle. Some other people say that when you raise the vehicle too high, it's very easy for the top gasket to blow, right? The vehicle is not built for that sort of stress, unlike your Corolla or your Honda engine. They can go 120 continuously for 30 minutes and above and no problem. So yeah, that's for your Hyundai. And your Hyundai can also be gotten for somewhere around 2 point something to 3 point something. That's for the Hyundai. The next, we want to talk about the Kia. So the Kia has very different models as well. You have the Kia Ceretto, is it Ceretto? You have the Kia Optima, you have the Kia Rio, and all the other models. And for the Kia, by their own admission, the company had come out to, okay, not the company, but some kind of survey of some sort, had come out to say that in the past 5 years, literally in the past 5 years, this survey came out last year, 2024. The past 5 years, Kia has produced vehicles that are more reliable and durable. So basically, all the other models up until that 5 years, they are not very reliable and durable. That's not to say that the cars are bad, mind you. The idea of a car that is durable is like, even after the odometer hits 100,000 miles, 200,000 miles, 300,000 miles, the car is still going strong. And by the way, most cars don't ever make it to 100,000 miles without having to fix something, but the few cars, especially in the Toyota family, that makes it up to 100,000, 200,000 miles, literally make it to that point without fixing even one thing. They basically just do the oil change, the servicing, and the car just keeps running. That's how you know the car is durable and reliable. You get. So for your cars like the BMW and the rest of them, get to 50,000 miles and before you know, something is needing changes or something like that. So yeah. So the Kia, for instance, the Kia Rio, I think, seems to be one of those reliable machines or cars, right? I wouldn't call it so reliable because I've seen it firsthand. I've not driven, but I've seen it firsthand misbehave so badly. Okay, So, but a good one is a good one and a bad one is a bad one. But that goes the same for every other car brand. And then you have the Kia Picanto. The Picanto is known for the small engine, and the small engine equates very little fuel usage, right? So that's for the Kia. I would also recommend going for the Kia if you have the money for the Kia. But remember, we're going bit by bit. So for the Kia, maybe I'll put it up there in number 3. All right, number 1 would be Honda, number 2 would be Peugeot, number 3 maybe I'll run Kia over to that place. Okay. The next is Ford, specifically your Ford Focus. See, I put this thing on the list not because I want to even advise anybody to go for it. I actually want to do the opposite. I want to advise you, don't go for it, okay? I'm sure there are some people who have had very wonderful experience with the Ford vehicle, but generally, this is an anti-Ford advert, if you will. Don't go for Ford cars. Ford vehicles are not built for the Nigerian roads. They're not built for use me a little and then ship me over here to continue being used. No, if you don't buy it directly from the company, Ford vehicles are not very trustworthy, man. Leave those things, okay? Don't be the first person that will have to go through the headache. Somebody else will have a good experience and then tell you, see, buy this car. I swear I've never changed even the plug since I bought it for 3 years, 4 years. Don't be the one with whom the bad examples will then be used. Okay, leave Ford alone. I'm not even going to talk about it, but it's cheap. Not that cheap, but you know. And the next is the Mazda. Okay, Mazda is also doing well, but nah, I still wouldn't recommend it. But there's just one Mazda brand. I think it's Primacy or Primacy they call it. Okay, I've noticed how solid the vehicle is. It's kind of like a hatchback. It's not a hatchback. It's like a Jeep. Okay, it just has the thing on the back. It's not a wagon either. It's weird on the back. Okay, so some Mazdas are good. The Mazdas, if you look at the Abuja roads in the taxi men, okay, that ferry people along the way, you find that the highest choice of car is either the Volkswagen or the Mazda. So vehicles around that year period or year gap, very, very solid. And I think the Primacy is also one of them. It's not a lot around that year gap, but you know, came out pretty good. I don't really know anybody personally that uses the Primacy, but I see it around a lot, enough to tell me that that's a solid vehicle. Okay. Nissan. Yeah, this is another vehicle you should just stay away from, man. It's good. It's not that bad. Just stay away from it, man. If you have the money for something else, go for something else. Go for a Honda. Go for a safer option. Don't fall prey to all these things and then start explaining that you know, the car was so solid when you bought it and all that. I'd done this mistake one time. I got this car called Renault. It has a Peugeot engine, 407 Peugeot engine. And you know, I was so pretty sure because I tested the car, I rode the car. It had both manual and automatic transmission. It was so wonderful and all that. God, there is not a week I don't fix something. Just don't get these things, man. Until after you get the good ones, you realize that no, it's not normal to be fixing your car every week or doing something on it every week. Okay? So these are the options. These are my recommendations. These are some other places you could be looking at apart from the Corolla. On the next video, I'm going to tell you how to spot cars that has the lowest kind of fuel efficiency. I'm going to tell you how easily you can tell if this car consumes less, or without driving it, by the way, without driving it. I forgot one more car. That's your Camry. Okay, I'm not talking about the Big Daddy. I'm talking about the Pencil Light and the Crystal Light. All right, those cars also are available to be used for the hustle, and they're pretty solid. Right, they're pretty solid vehicles. So, and they go for around 1 point something. And it's a Camry, you know? It's a Camry, it's a Toyota product, so you know that it's pretty solid. I cannot really place my hand on what the issue is with the Camry, but some people who have used it say I mean, they keep reporting certain incident. I cannot say specifically what, but just do your own due diligence. But the Camry is also another option you could go for. All right. Okay, that's it. Bye.